Let's talk about your freezer supply, or stash as it is commonly called. This is where people get really excited about how much milk they can store away. I've had moms the first week after their baby's birth call me and say, "I have a whole freezer filled already." That's because they dealt with their engorgement by pumping every single last drop out, assuming they can use it for the 6 months later when they are going back to work. This is definitely a no-no and can lead to problems such as plugged ducts and mastitis. So it is really important to understand what freezer stash is all about and what it is used for. First of all, let's just think about breast milk in general. Breast milk changes over time. So the milk that you have when the baby is 2 months old is different milk than the milk that the baby is drinking when they're 6 months old. So it's not ideal or necessary to just keep saving more and more milk in the freezer to give to your baby later. The other thing is that breast milk is alive. It's got living antibodies and other amazing ingredients in it. The more that you do to it, the more you destroy the properties of it. So freezing your milk is okay, and when it's done in the right amounts and for the right reasons, it is necessary. Just remember that it is a way to have a backup for the fresh milk that you'll be providing every day by breastfeeding or pumping, and you will turn to your freezer stash as the last resort when there is nothing else. It's definitely better than supplementing the baby with infant formula, but it wouldn't be my first choice versus fresh or just refrigerated breast milk. So if you want to use your fresh milk and give your baby the milk that you pumped from the day before, what is that freezer stash for? When do you need it? And how much do you actually need? Freezer stash is like an emergency stash. For example, you went to work and you pumped, but you forgot it and left it out all night. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do tomorrow? That's where your freezer stash comes in. Or you brought it home, you left it for your baby, and your mother-in-law spilled it all over the floor. I say mother-in-law because this actually happened to me. She'll be happy when she hears this. I have no idea exactly what happened, but she spilled my milk, and having some in the freezer to be able to pull from when I wasn't there was very, very helpful, as you can imagine. Typically, I recommend somewhere between 8 to 12 bottles in the freezer, and you really don't need any more than that. This is an emergency supply that you will use last minute if you decide to go out and did not plan ahead, or if you had an extra hectic day at work and missed a pumping session. Although I don't recommend making that a habit because it really could get you off your schedule and impact your milk supply pretty quickly. But having that extra milk in the freezer is where it's going to be really helpful to be able to catch up a little bit. As you use it, you can replenish it. Always label it with the date and always use the oldest milk first. Also, freeze your milk in varied amounts, like some 3 ounce, some 2 ounce, and some 1 ounce bags. This way, you will only defrost the amount that you need when you need it, and none will go to waste. Always follow the storage guidelines and warming instructions that I went over earlier with you when handling your frozen breast milk.